Hello and welcome. Let's do a quick update on Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Starting off within Bitcoin, all bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. And on the 3-hour term time frame, since this high of, what was this, failed breakdown, fast move higher, and a big move at that, going from about low 7,000 to over 10,000, about almost a $3,000 gain, or like well over 35%. But since then, it had this correctionary move, and this was the high that went lower than this one, supporting these levels. But only this getting above the highs, really getting above here. But we can see in spots like, say, this in here, that we come down. No 18 low supporting. You're resisting it, having a lot of resistance in here, and then of course, a decent sized decline. A little bit of an attempt here. And right now, all it's doing as far as the 18 is doing enough just to basically get it to flatten out, really at best. On the daily term time frame, the resistance here, of course, coming up towards this area of support. So therefore, it's either something's a failed breakdown. Either this is, and it's usually, that's why I like to say concise move and not fast, but it's not even getting that. Because you have a move up here, the must hold area is where it's basically barely holding on to like a thread now. So you come back down and then you break that. That's like the bullish level for this failed breakdown. However, if this is a failed breakout, well, that means you have the situation of having a break of this support in here. This going down here was notification of it going down to 6,300. So it could be one of those spots where you break key level, you support halfway through, you resist, and in this case very aggressively where you came from, and then down to that key point. Because whether it be going down to 6,100 or whether it doesn't, I don't know. But I'll be looking for key support if that happens, and it's looking as if it just very well may be doing such. All right, then. Let's move on to silver. And the reason I'm just naming this crypto technical analysis is unfortunately my keyboard stopped working. So I don't even have it on here. Well, it's amazing what, I got these numbers just in case when I need them to copy and paste. It wasn't too hard to get. But there's a lot of things that I can do. I'll just copy a random word on the internet to use this as a file name. And then when I upload this, I'll just have to really just change the date number. So it automatically says crypto technical analysis, and it's going to be 11 or 2019.11. I'll just put the two numbers in. And that's why I'll do it anyway. But anyway, within silver, we had a break of the 1740 level, confirmation that it was en route to that of 1613. Nothing has changed as far as its confirmation status. We still have this declining 18, which price is in. And it's working towards possibly resisting this level. If 1740, it needs to get at least above that for you to start to say, okay, this thing is getting going. Because with this statement move in here, I'm looking at a price point to come down towards this level. And until the price can get above 1740, I'm not going to be thinking otherwise. On the 3-hour term time frame, we're having some support at the 18 lows, and we've established this level of resistance. But generally speaking, all of these last 8, 9, 10 periods or so is supporting the ones from November 13th, 14th. If it breaks this resistance, well, I'm going to be looking for 1740. But again, that wouldn't surprise me if that's the bullish move in a bearish environment. And then when I talk about a bearish environment, well, bearish environment to go down to the 1613. And then when I talk about bearish environment, I'm looking at the 3-month chart, the more long term, and I realize that we've had the band flatten out on the quarterly, and the 18's down to this point in here. So any type of move like this is still doing what it's doing. We have a flat 18. And when this thing is ready to get going, it's stated with the move up there that it just may well do so. But just like this again, it really needs to get to like 18 and a half before you can start to think, oh, just maybe this is ready to go. And then if it gets to like over 20, well, now it's a clear break above the 18 highs regarding this. And the must hold area is like the previous low is between $15.30 and $14. Okay, and then of course the fact that we're at this high. And by the way, you probably don't know this, and if you don't, you will now. We are just a few weeks away, days, like 15 or 20, I think, away from the 350,000 anniversary of when silver hit $50 back in 1980. See, this correction area move down, I wasn't even born. And then this move high, I was like into what they called nursery school back then. And then the year after that, they called it junior kindergarten in Canada. So I started school when silver was triple the price it is today in fiat currency. Now looking at gold, back in here at the same time frame, it got up to 850, pulled back to 250, and then major concise move. So as far as its attempt to turn what's not an uptrend into a bull market for gold, it did so here because this stopped the up move. Now granted, it was a twice hit level of key support that would later be heavily involved, but this was a failed breakout. It showed weakness here amongst the 18 for quite some time, but it really didn't have that much, and it most certainly wasn't a fast move lower. Now you talk about a concise fast move. Well, the next attempt, well, here was another smallish attempt, never did get above this level of resistance. But in here, it got above in here, developed these trend lines, and well, off to the races. In here, all this high stuff is doing is flattening up the band, which it did successfully. And here it is now, exitation of the 18. That's the first time it's done it since back in here. And we'll put the current Fibonacci lines on and take a look at this on the daily chart. So short term, okay. We got the resistance on the 18 after breaking down below. I mean, what's going on with this? Why are we barely filling empty space? I usually would say, oh, if we break below, we're going to go to the next key level, which is 1321. But I don't know if that's the next key level. I mean, its job as correctionary mode is to fill a higher low on the empty space. So last time on the August lows of 2018 at 1175, it made a move earlier this February to 1300, and all it filled empty space down to was 1269 from this low. That's all it had to fill, and that's all it did fill. So that's what it's filled so far from this last low of 1268. Bull market, higher highs and higher lows. So you kind of want to see a higher low at the really 1321-ish is the most certainly the lowest level. I mean, this would work. But again, like I say, what's the next key level? If we break down below in here, you see the price leave the 18 down to 1459, then go below previous support, say 1440. What do we go down to, 1431 or 1428? I mean, that's the type of, well, I guess you could say where we came from in here, 14, yeah. Deep into this congestion area, like 14 and a quarter, I would suppose. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.